All right, let's put our newfound vocabulary to the test. So here are characteristics of an experiment. We're going to look at this one. Lipitor is a cholesterol-lowering drug made by Pfizer. In the collaborative atorvastatin diabetes study, or CARDS, I totally butchered that, but you got the idea. The effect of Lipitor on cardiovascular disease was assessed in 2,838 subjects, ages 40 to 75, with type 2 diabetes, without prior history of cardiovascular disease. In this placebo-controlled double-blind experiment, subjects were randomly allocated to either the Lipitor 10 milligrams or the placebo, and that's how many were allocated to each one, and were followed for 4 years. The response variable, so it even tells you, was the occurrence of any major cardiovascular event. Lipitor significantly reduced the rate of major cardiovascular events, 83 events in the Lipitor group and 127 in the placebo. There were 61 deaths in the Lipitor group versus 82 deaths in the placebo group. All right? So, what does it mean for the experiment to be placebo-controlled? What do you think that means? Yeah, that a placebo is used, right? And it's given to the control group. Because that's the one that doesn't change anything. They want to see what's the difference between the control group and the one that's actually given the treatment, which is the Lipitor, right? It's the drug. All right, so the placebo, and what's a placebo again, just so that we can get this really clear? Yeah, they think they're getting Lipitor, but they're not. The placebo is the same characteristics, same smell, same taste, same look as actual drug, but it's not. It has none of the effects that Lipitor does, right? Those active ingredients. Okay, what does it mean for the experiment to be double-blind? Yes, so the subjects, let me scoot this up a little bit. The subjects and, whoa, what was that symbol? I think my pencil got a little crazy there. The subjects and the individuals monitoring the subject, right? The researchers, we call them, but I'm just going to say the individuals monitoring the subjects. Do not know who was given the drug versus placebo. So that way they're not wondering, they are given the drug, so they should be acting like this. This should be happening, and they're making things happen that don't. They don't know. They're just literally saying, okay, what are the events? How are this acting? What is going on with this, right? Okay, what's the population for this study, and what is the sample? So who, population. So who is this in regards to? Let's swing back up here. Let me squeeze this in. This is adults aged 40 to 75 with type 2 diabetes and no prior history of cardiovascular. That's my population. That's the target group. Now, I can't do every single person, so then if I'm looking at my sample, what's my sample? Yep, the 2,838 that fit that criteria. Does that make sense? So the group is my population that I'm working with. Oh my. But the sample is the number of people that I actually work with in that. So the population is ages 40 to 75, type 2 diabetes, and no prior cardiovascular disease. All three of those criteria. Because they want to see how all of that is affected. And then our sample, yeah, that's that 2,838 subjects that meet that criteria. All right. Okay, so what are the treatments? Yep, you've got the control group with the placebo, and you've got the actual group with the 10 milligrams of Lipitor. Yep. And the placebo. What's a response variable? Like, how are we determining what's happening to this? Yep, it's that cardiovascular event, and it literally tells you the response variable was the occurrence of any major cardiovascular event. It literally tells you that. So the response variable is any major cardiovascular event. That's supposed to be an arrow. Any major cardiovascular event. And is it qualitative or quantitative? Yeah, qualitative, right? It's not even a number. It's just a cardiovascular event. So this is a qualitative variable. Nice. So do you see we have an experiment, and then here are the different parts. We're learning the parts. Now we're kind of seeing how we can pull that from an experiment.